Hey, what's up? So today we are going to talk about the 5 things that I believe make up a good rental property. Now, the reason these are important for you to know because it's going to help you as you're going out looking for your next investment property. You have this knowledge and this information that you can kind of take and you can compare. Hey, does it meet this requirement? Does it meet this one? Does it meet this one? And that's the purpose of creating this video, is to kind of help out in regards to this. So number 1, this one's key, and it is the numbers don't lie. It's so important that your numbers match up. You hear this all the time, but in real estate investing, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. What that means is a lot of times if you go into a deal looking at it, oh, I'm gonna make my money back on this once I sell the property, or if I sell it for the right price, then it'll be a good deal. You're already starting off on the wrong foot. You wanna buy it right. If you can buy it right, then you're in a win-win scenario and you can't lose. So make sure that the numbers work. Now, the reason that you'd buy a property without the numbers working, that means that you probably got sold on it emotionally and you didn't invest logically. So if you're investing logically, that means you've had a chance to look at the numbers and make sure the numbers work on the property. Now, when I say make sure the numbers work, that just comes down to running your calculations, doing your deal analysis. That's what we're gonna dive into a little bit later to make sure that you understand how to do that perfectly, that you understand how to do it quickly and efficiently to where you feel confident with it. And once you learn that, then you'll want to apply that to every single deal that you do. If not, and I see this all the time, but someone will be like, yeah, I think this is a good property, I'm going to buy it, or I put an offer in this, or I have this under contract. And I'm like, that's great, but like, what are the numbers on it? And they have no idea. They simply bought it or wanted to buy it because it was a duplex or because it was a fourplex. And this is a huge problem because if you're buying it as an investment property, the numbers must work out, or it's like, why are you buying it? Doesn't matter how cool it is, doesn't matter how awesome it looks, like the numbers, they're not gonna lie. So if the numbers work, then that's great, dive into it. If the numbers don't work, don't try and force it, okay? That's why this is rule number 1. Diving into rule number 2, this is location. Location's huge. The reason this is so important is because you can't just pick up a house and change the location of it if it's in a bad spot, unless it's a mobile home park or something like that, but that's a different story. We're talking about just a residential house here. You can't just move neighborhoods, right? So that means wherever you buy it, if it's in the wrong location, you're already off on a bad foot. You're done, right? So whether if you buy it in the right location, you're gonna be good. And there's some ways to tell if it's a good location or a bad location, and we're gonna dive into that in the next chapter here. But just so you know, having a property in a good location, it's gonna make a difference if the property is gonna appreciate or if it's gonna lose its value as you're buying it and as the years go on. Now, there's different ways to find out and to know if it's in a good location or not, and we're gonna dive into all those and we're gonna show you how to break that down and figure those things out. But just know that when you're looking for a property, location's huge, especially if it's something you're gonna rent out to college students. Obviously, you're gonna make sure that it's walking distance to a college. If it's a property you're gonna Airbnb, you're gonna wanna make sure the location is really close to a destination or a place where people are gonna go to frequently. And the closer it is to that place, the more likely you're gonna be able to rent it out, and the higher you're gonna be able to charge on that property as well. Oftentimes we'll see things being advertised as right next to a bus stop or walking distance to mall and shopping downtown, right? All of those things, the reason they put those on the listing is because it helps it rent out, and that's what people are looking for. So if you buy in a good location, it's gonna help keep your rents at top dollar, as well as help keep your occupancy rate and people renting and wanting to continue to rent there really high as well. Okay, so that's key. That's why it's number 2. The number 3 reason or thing to look for when buying an investment property and what makes up a good investment property is a value add opportunity. Now, what this means is there's opportunity to come in and add some sort of value that's going to increase your returns. Now, this could mean a bunch of different things. It could be something as simple as, hey, there's an opportunity to come in and I can just paint the whole house and replace the carpet, and now I'm gonna be able to charge way higher rents and get that back quick as far as my investment in there. Another value add opportunity might be, oh, I can rent out this extra bedroom that's classified as a storage room, but all I need to do is add a closet and now it's another bedroom, right? Not only is that going to allow me to rent it out, but it's also going to allow me, now the house is worth more money because there's an extra bedroom that it wasn't advertised with before. Another example of a value add opportunity could be, hey, I could come in here and because of the zoning on this property, there's a lot right behind it, right? Or on that same lot, I can fit an additional unit and I can go build that and it can go up the value of the property that I just bought. So different ways to just kind of get your mind going of, hey, is there a value add opportunity in this situation? We talk about buying things turnkey, which just means it's completely ready day one to be rented out. There's nothing wrong with this necessarily. The only problem with this is those are the properties that tend to go top dollar. If you can find something like that at a good price and you don't have to do any work, then that's great. But the reason we look for value add opportunities is because we can usually find properties that are listed way below because they need a little bit of work or it's an unseen hidden potential. So that's something I always look for and that really makes up a good investment property. Number 4, this is just low maintenance. Now, as you're buying these homes, remember our objective and our goal is to buy and hold. They're long-term investments. So with that being said, I'm going to want to pay attention as I'm looking, as I'm walking the property. Hey, is this going to be a low maintenance home or is this going to be high maintenance? A good example of this is, hey, right off the bat, am I going to have to replace this roof? Right off the bat, am I noticing that, hey, there's carpet all throughout this house and it's going to be a lot of work because I'm going to have to get it cleaned every single time. I'm going to have to get it replaced every single time we switch over, whatever, right? So now instead, I might look for something or I might swap out the flooring. Another great example is lawn care. Hey, what does the lawn look like? Is it gravel? Is it rock? Is it low maintenance? Is it that desert landscaping? Or is it grass that I'm going to have to pay somebody, 30, 40, 50 bucks a month to make sure it's well kept? Or am I going to have to worry about the tenants letting it go, right? Not watering it. It's going to be overgrown. It's going to cause problems for me and the neighbors. I have a property that I bought that doesn't have a sprinkling system. And it's been a pain in the butt because I end up having to have one of the tenants where I give them a little bit of a discount if they water the lawn. But it's a lot to water it because you got to, in the summertime, hook up the sprinkler, hook up the hose, go put it out there, turn it on, remember to turn it off. It ends up being a huge headache because now I got to worry about, oh, they left the water on, now there's a high water bill, or hey, they're not doing it and the grass is dead and this is a problem. So just little things to think about right off the bat. And there's going to be other ones that I didn't cover that you're going to go walk a property and you're going to be like, yeah, that's going to cause some huge problems. So I'm going to either have to fix that or have the sellers fix it before I buy the home, or it's just not going to work for me. So a few things to be aware of just to help yourself in the long run. You do not want to get into something that's just going to be a headache over and over and over and over again and cause you a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of random phone calls. You just don't want to do that to yourself. So something to be aware of. And the 5th thing for me that I came up with that is going to help you when looking for investment properties and what's a good investment property is having an exit strategy. So what this means, and I love this concept, and it kind of goes along with, we don't want to buy a property with the best case scenario in mind, and we're buying it because of the best case scenario, and it only works if all of these numbers work out and these things go down perfectly. It never works out that way because then all of a sudden something happens that we didn't account for, and it's not the best case scenario, and now it doesn't work. So something I always try to look for when I'm getting into rental properties is, do I have a good exit strategy? Is there an opportunity to sell this? Is there an opportunity, let's say it's a vacation rental. Let's say something happens in the tourist industry and people can't travel or people aren't coming to this destination anymore. Is there an opportunity for me to rent this out to a family, right? Do the numbers still work if I end up doing that? If you buy a home, let's say what's big right now is people will buy houses close to the college. There's a lot of bedrooms and they can get more rent. So they'll stack a bunch of students in there and it's great. But the problem becomes is if you buy that house with it only being able to be rented out to students, now all of a sudden, let's say the summertime hits, or for example, students stop going to college for whatever it is, all of a sudden now we have to look at it, okay, I need to drop rents because I'm only renting it out to a family. Does this still work? And if it still works and the mortgage is still being paid and plus some, then great. But the biggest mistake we make is we don't look for these exit strategies and we end up being stuck and it causes major problems. So just being able to have the foresight of like, hey, let me look down the road a little bit, 3, 4, 5, 10 10, 15 years from now? Does this make sense? Is there a good way for me to get out of this property if I had to get out of it without me losing a ton of money? So just something to be aware of as you're going through this process. Make sure you guys look at these 5 things as you're vetting out your rental properties. And I think it's going to help you and give you a ton of value to know if you're making the right purchase or not.